How would you say your cultural heritage was reflected in your Christian upbringing?
Yeah. Um, that's a great question. How has my cultural heritage?
I'd say that one way my background influenced my upbringing and my faith as a Christian. I grew up in Nashville, so it was a pretty Christian area. There were a lot of people of Christian backgrounds, and I knew a lot of people who were Christians, and I think this enabled me to form a pretty strong friend group of fellow Christians.
How has my cultural heritage been reflected in my Christian upbringing? I would say that my cultural heritage has been ingrained in my parents' practice of the Christian faith, and they've passed that on to me. So whether it be the way that they pray, because my parents really emphasize prayer, they're very serious about having that personal connection to God, or if it's in the songs that they would sing with us growing up, they would be songs that either they learned back in Nigeria or songs that they just learned at their churches growing up. But I would say that my cultural upbringing, although it hasn't always been overt in the way that I practice my faith, it's always been there. It's always been in the background.
I see no bad. I feel like I've always been no. I'm able to be oh God, I want this, this, and this because I know you can make it happen and stuff.
If you're comfortable, could you sing a song related to your childhood church / gospel song?
Yeah. Do not be afraid, I am with you. I have called you each by name. You will hear my voice, I claim you as my choice. Be still and know you are here.
The way my culture showed up in my Christian upbringing was I went to a gospel church at first, and it was a lot of Black people, and they sing a lot of songs that were related to the Black culture, and so I was really embedded in that part. But occasionally we would kind of experiment with other churches, and so I remember going to a couple smaller churches, and a lot of them had songs in Spanish, and that was a lot more related to my mom's side of the culture. So I got to learn that piece and how they the difference in the songs really. And then I had friends that were Catholic, so whenever they had their first communion, I would go show up, and it was just seeing a new side of Christianity.
Okay, the song that I would say reminds me of my church and my culture kind of, because I think he's a Jamaican singer, is Hear My Cry, O Lord, by, I think it's Maria Providence. So it goes hear my cry, O Lord, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry out to thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. That is higher than I. So it's basically saying that God is our stronghold, our rock.
Maybe just a simple song
Yeah.
Oh how I love Jesus. Every kid learns that. Oh,
And how would you say that you found Christ?
I would say, I feel at first I was fake spiritual because I didn't know what to believe, because I wouldn't say Christianity. I didn't I wasn't necessarily brought up with it. But I think that one time I was just in a really, really bad headspace, and I was you know what? I need something, so let me just pray to God and see what happens. And over time, as I did it more, he started to show himself to me, and it would be certain things I would get a certain sense of strength or sense of happiness that I wasn't feeling before that couldn't be explained by anything but God. So I would say this is beginning of high school. So I really, really got serious about it senior year, because he just
was so loud, was showing himself, like he was smacking me in the face, like hello, like I'm here. So yeah, that's how I came to learn who God is.
My cultural heritage was definitely a big part of my Christian upbringing. I went to a Nigerian Pentecostal church under the bubble of the Tabernacle of Restoration Christian Church. It's like a big like Nigerian kind of like sector of like the Pentecostal church. And it was just very ingratiated in Nigerian culture. We would constantly wear like native attire on first Sundays. All the songs had like just a native feel to it. Just everything was just very Nigerian, and it really definitely helped me understand my culture better growing up in America.
We'd sing a lot of songs in Yoruba in church, but the one I remember was I sing most often. I'm not even sure what the title is called, but I'll sing it. It goes, Ebani porúkọ rẹ, èmi ni tíjẹ́ èmi ni Ọlọ́run kan ńlá, èmi ni má ṣe bẹ̀rù, Ọlọ́run kan ńlá 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 ńlá, oyigi igi igi igi, kábíyèsí, ọba tó kárí ayé, èmi ni má ṣe bẹ̀rù. And then there's a key change, but I'm not gonna do that.
Sometimes my mom would sing these like little choruses that she learned from her high school days in Nigeria. So one of them goes, "We are going to be blessed today, for the Lord is already here. The Holy Ghost is already here." So I would just like sing that over and over again with my mom. Not really sure what its name is. I don't even think she even gave it a name, but like little things like that, they stuck in my head.
Is Te Amo by, I think it's Israel the New Breed. It's like, Te amo, I love you, con todo mi corazón, love. Yeah.
So church for me was really the only time where I met a lot of other Koreans in the same place, which didn't really happen in my hometown. And so it was really the only place where I could go to on Sundays where I could see people who, looked like me and had similar backgrounds and things to me. And, I think it's interesting now that I'm at a place like Washi, which is so diverse. But looking back, that was really kind of the only place where I feel like, even though it's not the biggest thing, just having, people who look like you and at least are able to relate to you at a fundamental level, just from your essence, that's something, that I think any God-given community has. And whenever we would talk about the Bible, we would often talk about, a lot of the things that we valued as Korean Americans or just Americans in general. And I think being able to have that and thinking about things like your work ethic, thinking about things about even your personality or just general temperament, that's something that comes not just from what you believe in, whether it be the Bible, God, or your own personal values, but also where you grew up and how you were brought up. And for me, church was a place where the intersection of my own background, someone who's Korean American, and somebody who tries to follow God as closely as I can, it was a place where both those things met, and it's something that I haven't really had something that's close to here at school.
Wait a minute. Will you be able to like cut this? I'm just gonna speak to you. Wait, should I speak to the camera?
You can speak to me. I can sit more back.
Okay.
But you can speak church to me.
Okay.
So
it's very good.